Welcome back, Wayfinders. Today we're mixing things up a little bit. Instead of playing music through the beginning of my video, I will be talking through the wood burn. As you can see, I'm wood burning the lock internals. This is a 5-pin setup lock, which is indicated by the 5 channels burned into the top of the training aid. These 5 channels will hold 3 things: an upper pin, a lower pin, and a spring. The centerpiece, which I'm going to start burning right now, is a free-floating cylinder that is usually brass and rotates in place. However, it is prevented from rotating by the pins being offset. The pins are offset until you insert the right size key, which will then put up the lower pins, push up the upper pins, and then create a shear line where the entire system can turn. The lower pins that I am wood burning black have a rounded lower edge to allow the key to slide in more smoothly, and then you have your upper pins followed by the springs. A little bit of shading in the center lock to tell the difference. So now that you understand the internal workings of a pin and tumbler lock, let's talk a little bit about the tools that we're going to use to manipulate it. This is a rake. It comes in a standard lock picking set. I like the thicker handle on the one that I have here, and I like the double bumpus design that it has on the end here. A pick would have a single upswept turned end, allowing you to manipulate individual pins at a time. This allows you to rake back and forth and manipulate multiple pins at once, increasing your chances of just getting lucky. Now we're also going to be providing rotational force using a tension wrench. This tension wrench is arguably the more skilled part of the technique I'm going to be using today. This allows us to provide a little bit of tension on the cylinder so that the line up here, the shear line, becomes slightly offset. That way when the top pin pumps up into the top, it gets stuck on this lip that we've created from the offset shear line. Once all 5 pins have been offset and that shear line lines up all the way down the center here, there's nothing preventing the cylinder from rotating. The tension wrench would then release, allow this to rotate and turn our cylinder until the lock unlocks. So today's a game of chance. A little bit of tension, the right amount, not too much or it'll lock up, no pun intended, not too little or they won't get stuck, and then bouncing these pins until they all line up, which will then allow us to rotate that lock. So what does this look like in application? Well, I'm lucky enough here to have a transparent lock sent to me by one of my friends for the purpose of this video. When I reach in with my rake and I push upward on these, you'll see that if I push too hard, I'm able to get both sets of pins into the upper chamber, which means that this lock still will not turn. Until you lower these back down and get them all equal to shear line, similar to that, the lock won't rotate. Now, I can't rotate this lock because I'm missing one critical element, the tension wrench. The tension wrench can either go in the bottom of the keyhole or in the top. However, for the top, it can be difficult to get it to jam, so I've filed this end down so that I can place it on the top and keep gentle pressure as I manipulate these pins. I'm going to go in and bounce them slightly until they all line up. Once they all line up, the cylinder rotates freely, releasing the locking mechanism and opening the lock. Now that looks like a lot of effort in the rake, but more of the effort is being focused on that tension wrench. A gentle push, and then when it releases, firm but steady pressure so it doesn't pop out and cause the lock to relock. Now they make other forms of these trainer locks. This is a double-sided door lock. You can see the internals are the same as with a padlock, and they're just in a different configuration with a different release latch. Once you have these in, you can rotate it. You can see your pins there. Those are the 5 bottom pins. Because they're of different lengths and because they're locked in by the wall here, I can't pull that key out without damaging it. This is because of the different lengths being locked into that key. Until they have a place to expand into, that key will not remove. Now, most people think when you look at a key that these top peaks here are what's going to be manipulating the pins, and that's just inaccurate. The pins lie in these low-lying valleys, these flat spots. In fact, you could file off these peaks on your key, and as long as you don't file into these valleys at all, your key will still work in your door. It'll just enter and exit a little more quietly. Now to prove that that wasn't just a training lock, I have a real lock here. We're going to apply a tension wrench into the bottom side instead of the top side. This is a little bit easier for beginners. I'm going to put this in the webbing of my palm and to put a little bit of pressure here with one finger. I don't want to crank it like I said, or you won't be able to move these. I don't want too light or they won't jam. So just a little bit of pressure, insert the rake, manipulate them up and down, and once they're lined up, it will open. We'll do that one more time. You can see it's not a trick lock, it's not modified, it doesn't open if I put pressure, put gentle pressure, manipulate the pins, opens the lock right back up. So there you have it, using raw luck and a little bit of tension wrench expertise in order to unlock a standard pin and tumbler style system. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you like my style of instruction, go ahead and reach out with that like or the subscribe button. The subscribe button will let you see more of my videos. The like button will tell YouTube's algorithm to pump this out to other people. So thank you for your time and have a great day.